Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. And this one, we're going to be checking out some Daniel Lee. He's covering a topic that I've actually been asked about a few times now. People have been asking me a lot recently if I think that Ecomi would actually sell and what would happen if they were to sell and stuff like that. There's been a lot of stuff talking about that, but I guess this video is about if Disney if Dan confirmed that Disney is going to be buying VeVe. Me personally, just by hearing it, I don't think that this would happen or this could happen, because I think that that would really hurt the business, because aren't like Marvel, I know Marvel and DC Comics and stuff like that kind of like in a rivalry. So would they allow Disney to actually own assets and control their NFTs and stuff like that? Like, is there not going to be any conflict of interest when it comes down to the brands and the licenses that VeVe actually holds if they were to sell to a parent company like Disney? So I think that that would be a lot more tricky to pull off than like Facebook. I don't think Facebook has any ties to anything, so maybe that would be okay. But I don't know. Let me know you all's thoughts on this in the comment section down below. But I just don't see it happening. But I have said that if VeVe did sell at any point in time, I feel like they would still retain control, because their relationships, their reputations, and all of that is what put this together. And this is their baby. This is their passion. It would just be more so like a merger for some capital to help them really build out some of the things that they want to build out. So I think a partnership with Facebook or something like that in that sense would be absolutely amazing. Like Facebook or Apple, like some type of partnership like that, or a merger, that would be insane. But Disney, I don't know if that would even be possible because of, you know, like certain licenses that they hold. But yeah, let's see what the video is about. If you're new to the channel, as always, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on notifications. And yeah, let's check it out. Be sure to check out my man's Daniel as well.
So hey guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to get into some rumors that Ecomi could be bought out by a larger company. For example, could be maybe Google or perhaps Disney. And the root of this rumor comes from a Dan Crothers interview, the most recent interview he has had, that implies that Dan Crothers was shocked when the interview asked Dan Crothers if there could be a potential buyout by a big company such as Disney. And I wanted to investigate the ramifications of this and why we really shouldn't be worried about a buyout even if it were to happen. But before we begin, like always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, hit that notification bell, and let's get to it. So this rumor of a buyout comes from a video, the most recent Dan Crothers.
He said Dan Crothers' body language and facial expressions. Really, bruh? That's the extent of people's research. Like, they just said, oh, his body language and facial expressions looks like we getting bought out. What? Are you kidding me? This what we going about now? I guess it's like we went from digging up real life Marvel documents and legal papers and like patents and stuff like that to just looking at people's body language. Like, if you shrug the wrong way, if you get an itch and scratch your neck at the wrong time, it's like you just confirm something crazy. So I mean, I guess that's what we're going with right now.
Others interview, and some speculation here is really interesting on this Reddit thread. It says an analysis of Dan Crothers' body language and facial expressions when asked about a buyout.
I just noticed that word analysis. Like, after he read it, I noticed the word analysis. Bro, who really out here analyzing this stuff, bro? Who do we have here? Like, we got a body expert out here. Like, what is going on, bro? Like, did this remind me of that show? Is it like what's it called? It's like this doctor. It's on Netflix. It's this doctor who can literally tell when people are lying and stuff like that. He looks at key facial expressions and stuff like that. I think it's Liar Liar. It might be called Liar Liar. But yeah, that TV show is actually pretty sick. I might have to watch that. But anyway.
And this user kind of goes into a lot of subconscious stuff, but I think a lot of that's really bunk, so I don't think it's a big deal. But you'll see here that it is interesting here. It says the interview jokingly suggests that Disney would be a company that makes the most sense for a buyout. And Dan immediately widens his eyes and raises his left eyebrow after the word Disney is mentioned. And he says here that's a genuine micro expression of shock and surprise in this
What's this? Micro expression. That's what it's called too. Hey yo, my man's came straight from watching that TV show and hopped straight on Reddit. This man was like, okay, I'm an expert now. I studied the first 3 episodes. Dan is definitely partnering with Disney. Like, this actually hilarious, bro. I mean, it could be true, but or he could just be kind of cringing at the fact that they mentioned Disney buying out, and DC Comics, if they catch a wind of that, they might not be too happy about hearing something like that. So, I mean, come on now. We don't really know much.
Case. Now, this gives way to some speculation that perhaps Disney is interested in buying out VeVe, so it begs the question, if a company like VeVe does buy out Ecomi, what is going to happen to the token holders? And obviously, we are worried that if there is a buyout, the value of our tokens, what's going to happen? Is it going to go to zero? Is it going to go up? What will happen to our tokens? So before we get into it, let's actually look at the video in question where Dan Crothers is asked if there is a potential buyout for VeVe.
Another anonymous attendee said, oh, this is a classic startup question. I love this. Will Apple or Google take over VeVe? And if so, will you allow this?
Oh,
Stop bouncing around.
No, gotta mute that.
This is like the Ready Player One question, right?
Yeah. What's it called? The big one, IOI or something?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They really have a lot of their own sort of business. You know, they're a platform for everyone else. So yeah, I mean, I've got a few picks as to who might potentially one day take over VeVe, which I won't voice now. But yeah, Google, Apple. I mean, I actually don't know, to be honest.
Dang, he has his picks for a few companies that they would sell to. So that is interesting. I did never see this. I never saw this. So, I mean, that would somewhat make sense. I don't know how exactly it would work though. I know this is David Yu's passion. I know that he's this like Dan is great at his job and everything, and he loves what he does as well. But I don't know if it's necessarily a passion for him like it is for David. David, he's like a kid in the candy shop with this. Dan is just really good, like professional. Like, so I don't know if he would still be attached to the company or if he would just be looking to get it off and, you know, let it be someone else's problem. I don't know. But yeah, I can't imagine David leaving, but I think that honestly would hurt the community a lot if these two were to lose control and things like that, and if it was to be, because these are the guys that we trust. These are the guys that we trust. These are the guys that the licensors trust. These are the guys Al Khan trusts. But I would assume that if Al Khan got in this, and maybe this was all part of the plan from the beginning if they were going to sell it. So I don't know. This conversation, this topic is kind of sketch for me to begin with. I don't like it. I don't like this topic to begin with.
I mean, you got to assume that Disney is, right? Because Disney likes to hold IP and distribution so much. And the first time I saw VeVe, I was like, if there's ever a large company that would go in and want to buy you quickly, it seems like that would be the one. But I won't try to read your body language on that.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the ride too much at the moment.
There we go. I don't blame you.
Now, I wish
he did do a as if he was gonna try to, as if he was holding something back. I see what my man's talking about, but I mean, obviously, I don't know. I feel like it would be a much more complicated thing to sell to a company like Disney. I think that would be complicated to do. Because I'm not sure. Like, I'm not educated on all of Disney's holdings. I don't know if they actually own any businesses or anything that actually licenses something like DC Comics or some of these other brands like the NFL, PA. Like, I don't know if they actually if these IPs would be okay with Disney owning and controlling their IPs like this. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like that wouldn't be something that these companies would want.
To preface in this clip that Dan Crothers did not say that Disney is going to buy out or take over Ecomi in any span of time. This is all speculation. He also said he has a short list of people who might potentially want to buy Ecomi, VeVe in the future. This means that they're not necessarily thinking about it, but you know, in any business strategy, you want to potentially know what your buyout number is. And to me, this sounds like it's something potentially in the future. They've obviously had conversations with companies like Disney, and they've at least thought about it. but I don't believe that they plan on doing this in the near span or in the near future. This is not happening anytime soon. And what would happen if they actually did? I want to show you guys this Wikipedia page. It's a list of acquisitions by Disney, and let's go to their most recent acquisitions. So we see here that, they bought out a company like Hulu, right? They bought out Marvel back in the day, and Lucasfilm.
They bought Hulu in 2009. I didn't even know Hulu was around in 2009. That's crazy. Marvel, they bought out Marvel too?
And 21st Century Fox. And the only thing I want to show you guys in regards to this is that they obviously didn't change much with the business. They bought it, but they left it kind of as is. Now, a company buys other companies for different reasons, and I make the argument that it's mostly to purchase the talent that's already existing in that company, purchase the rights or licenses to that company, or to purchase maybe the technology within the context of a multimedia company like Disney. So Hulu, we see that they still have a lot of content. There doesn't seem to be much that they change. The technology in and of itself is about the same. Marvel, they clearly bought for the licenses to make movies. 21st Century Fox, they bought specifically to bulk up its film and television library. But 21st Century Fox is essentially kind of the same. Now, if Disney actually bought Ecomi, VeVe, I make the argument here that they're not going to make drastic changes to the staff, to the technology, and most importantly, I don't think they're going to dump the token.
So that's that. This is actually I like this. I like this video. I like this perspective. It does put things into perspective a bit here. There is some price raising on Hulu. Hulu has gone up in price a little bit. I feel like they would have to, if they even did something like this, they would have to purchase it for a large amount because all the licensors that's involved in this would probably have to get paid from Disney as well. So I don't think that you could just pay VeVe and all the licenses come along. So it's like, yeah, they would be. I think they would be paying like $100 billion or something like that. Like I can see that getting like it would have to be an insane amount of money, and it would have to make sense. So for like, I feel like VeVe has a long way to go before they would actually be willing to pay what all their licenses and IPs would be asking for or would want to even have them let them buy it out. So I mean, that's just my thoughts, but yeah, I like the perspective. I seeing some of the stuff that they own, and it doesn't look like they would just come and get to selling off parts of the company or doing or removing certain things and stuff. It seems like they buy stuff that has potential and that's doing this thing, and if anything, they help it do better. So.
Now, there's a couple reasons why I think even if a company like Disney were to buy Ecomi, VeVe, the app, I don't think they'll dump the token specifically for one major reason. And the major reason is that so much of the compensation related to the team, the advisors, the board members, or roughly 20% of the token supply, 150 million Omi, is attached to the founders, early adopters, compensation or funding the company in the early days. So a lot of their compensation is related to these tokens. And in the next couple years, I do see Omi token being valued a lot more than it is now. So I don't see any company that buys Ecomi, VeVe as taking those tokens, destroying them or dumping them or not even using the Omi token and replacing it with different technology. I don't see that ever happening because it's so important to the NFT minting process right now. There's already going to be a lot of value, even today, at these prices associated with the token, that I just don't see them getting rid of the token themselves. Even if they did, what would have to happen, right? They would have to pay the founders roughly the equivalent value in the tokens at the time of purchase, right? They're not going to just say, okay, I'm okay with dumping millions of dollars worth of token value for a buyout, right? So that's what would have to happen. And the second thing, the retail investors or the whales or any investor in the token who bought these tokens would have a fit. You would have a wave of lawsuits that would hit Disney. And, obviously I'm not a legal person.
I don't know if like the lawsuits will bother them, they just like screwed over Scarlett Johansson and she had to sue him. So I wouldn't put that past Disney, to be fair. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know the full story there, but I do know that Scarlett Johansson sued because apparently she was supposed to like they wasn't supposed to release it online before theaters or something like that. Her latest movie, and yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know if they actually care about this getting sued part.
I'm not a legal advisor.
And if y'all see me watching the my phone, my clock a little bit, it's because I'm getting ready for the drop. The drop is actually the Star Trek drop is coming in about 5 minutes, no, not 5 minutes, 15 minutes. So yeah.
Nor am I a financial advisor, but would they have precedence in a court of law? I don't know. This is obviously new territory. Is there a case? Are there some intrinsic ownership value in these tokens that they would have to pay token holders off either? I don't see a big company who would buy Ecomi taking that chance. Therefore, I don't see them getting rid of the token. I think even if they were to buy Ecomi, they would keep everything as is. They would probably want to keep valuable players like Al Kahn, David Yu, Dan Crothers in the business and just use them because they're subject matter experts in this field. It doesn't make sense to get rid of the team. It doesn't make sense to get rid of the technology. Another small piece to that is we already see that business development has 20% of the tokens as well. So if you got rid of the Omi token, you're getting rid of 20% of value that can be used to raise capital, to get fiat, to do other things.
But to be fair, if Disney is buying them out, like, would you then need capital? Because I mean, it's Disney. The buyout would be more than likely for that capital. So I don't know. Or would it be like, yeah, it's a tricky situation because obviously, Disney can bring a lot more capital and bring a lot more to the company than the company currently has. So it's just all very speculative right now. What would happen? What would transpire? We don't actually know. It's so many different ways that could go about this. So many things that could be good for us, that could be bad. Like, I mean, we just don't know. It's so much.
So you're really just shooting yourself in the foot here if you got rid of the Omi token. And also, notwithstanding, you have the reserve wallet, the vault wallet, which has 300 billion, 40 billion tokens respectively. That is integral or key to the VeVe NFT minting process. So I just don't see that happening, even if they were to get a buyout. So my goal with making this video was to highlight a rumor going around in the community that Ecomi VeVe could be bought out, and just highlight the fact that even if this were to happen, it's going to happen sometime in the future, not anytime soon. And even if a big player were to buy out Ecomi and get their valuable assets, I don't see them dumping or getting rid of the token in any way. These tokens already have a lot of value today. Imagine 3, 4, 5 years from now, it's going to have even more value. Why would you get rid of this token to do something else with it?
I think that the thing is when a lot of people has very small goals for VeVe and Ecomi. So when it comes down to what these tokens are actually going to be worth and how valuable they are to a company like Disney, is that actually valuable? Because I see this as a multi-trillion-dollar project. So if people were as bullish as me, it would be no questions at all. But like it like people think that it's going to be lucky if it hits $1. So it's like, is that the type of money that Disney would care about coming in and disrupting? And in reality, I don't know if they would actually care about like coming in, disrupting the token and stuff like that. But I don't think that they would do it as well. But realistically, you never know with this little amount of money on the line if it does what other people expect. I expect it to do way more. So yeah, I don't think that they're gonna be messing with anything anytime soon. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. It's almost time for this drop, so let me get ready for this drop, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn notifications so you can stay updated. And yeah, man, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, y'all.